everyone, and welcome to my very first music podcast we like to call The Breakdown. We will be discussing a different music topic each show. Today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane and break down what was popular back in 97 to 01 in our high school years. Let's break down some nu metal. All right, so I have my good friend and fellow metalhead, Terry, joining me today here on this podcast. Welcome, Terry.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Just living the dream. Got out of work a couple hours ago, just hanging out.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here today for the very first Breakdown podcast. You like that
I'm
name?
Honored. Oh, yeah. It's fitting.
Yeah, I was like, what's your favorite part of a song? The breakdown. Well, at least for me, anyways. And
it's the money shot of the music genre.
There you go. Yes, I like that. I might have to change the name to the money shot now. Might get some different viewers in, but All right. So we've known each other for a very long time. We go back to middle school. So our high school years, 97 through 01, nu metal was the popular metal genre, which the subgenres off of metal get super crazy. And I think there will be a show with that being the topic of subgenres of metal. So we'll not get into all of that just now. We'll just stick with the nu metal for right now. So what was the first nu metal band that you heard that got you into the nu metal subgenre or genre?
Probably like most kids in the 90s, it was definitely Korn, but fortunately it was because my older brother, he had friends that were cool and knew about them way before they got popular. So nice. I think I first heard Chutes and Ladders back around 1995.
Damn.
And then I don't remember how I found out or got this CD, but the X Games soundtrack, the very first one, also had Blind on it, and then had
nice.
Sepultura and some other really cool songs on it. So that really was like my first taste of really that style of music. Never really heard anything like that before.
Yeah. I was one of the ones that heard him on the radio because my sister did listen to metal, but nu metal was kind of more I learned about from the radio and other friends and stuff later on. So yeah, Korn was my introduction to nu metal, and it was Freak on the Leash. It was actually my first song that I heard from them, thanks to
nice.
Local radio station here. And you guys wearing the Korn shirts all the time.
Oh yeah, I definitely wore out 2 Life is Peachy shirts.
Oh,
that's for sure. I was wearing those like every day.
Yeah, those were the good times. Korn tees and Jinkos.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they still sell them. Yeah, I got mine on.
Nice. Where the hell do you get them at?
They still they have a store online, so I got a pair earlier this year to wear to the Mudvayne show I went to a couple months ago.
How was that?
It was really good. I hadn't seen them since 2000 or 2001, so it was cool seeing all the makeup again. And I hadn't seen Cold Chamber in about 20 years also. They were really, really good. Gwar, first time seeing them. They're definitely not nu metal, but they're like definitely
they definitely
influenced bands. Yeah, they definitely had a huge influence on bands like Mudvayne and Slipknot with all the theatrics and stuff. So it was cool seeing them. Nonpoint was really good. Never was really a huge fan of theirs, but they always were good live. And Butcher Babies, saw a couple songs of theirs when we were walking in. They weren't bad. But yeah, it was a good show.
Nonpoint,
super hot though.
Oh, I can imagine. I actually lost a toenail in a mosh pit at a Nonpoint show at House of Blues.
Oh, wow.
Of all bands to lose. Yeah. Anyways, that would have been awesome. I want to see Mudvayne. I've never saw Cold Chamber and of course Gwar. My cousin was a huge fan of theirs when I was a little kid, and he had posters up in his room, and it scared the shit out of me when I was little. But now it's like, oh, that's cool as shit. But all right, see, I get off topic sometimes. All right, so it seems like Korn was like the biggest introduction for most people to nu metal. That Limp Bizkit, that was another one.
Yeah, Korn are definitely the OGs. When they put their first record out, it didn't sound like anything else. I mean, you could hear other bands like Helmet and other stuff where you can kind of hear where that sounds sort of, and I think people probably consider Rage Against the Machine sort of nu metal adjacent, although I'm sure they wouldn't want to be called that just with the rapping and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, we are going to get to that because I have over here at the gym a couple weeks ago when I came up with this idea for this show. I was like, I want to hear some nu metal. I was like, Linkin Park, you know, I want to pull this up and everything. So I pulled up a nu metal list on Spotify, and some of the bands, to me, I'm kind of like, is that really nu metal? I mean, maybe some of their songs are, but does that make them nu metal? So we're going to get to that a little bit later here. It's just a lot of fun. It can start a lot of arguments too. I've done music live streams over on Twitch, and everybody has their own take on what is metal, and people would go back and forth on that. So again, we can do that here with nu metal too. So it's crazy.
Policing genres is kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah. I sit back and watch sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in, but if it's good, I like it. I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. 22 years ago today, Iowa from Slipknot was released. So another nu metal band there. So I thought that was pretty cool that popped up today. I was like, oh shit. And then I got really sad because that was 22 years ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're getting old.
Oh yeah.
Nuts.
Time flies.
Yeah. That was a one hell of an album there. So, you know.
Yeah, I definitely, when I look at interviews and see a lot of the newer bands now, you can really hear a lot of the Slipknot influence on them. And it's interesting to think about, especially when Joey passed away a couple years ago. Just people talking about his legacy and the thought that I want to say Iowa debuted at #1 just because of how they completely blew up when they first came out in '99. And that was the first, I think, #1 record to start off with blast beats, and he really brought blasting to the mainstream. So he's really a really influential drummer and super influential band.
Yeah, I never got to see him perform live, but you were there at Rockville when I finally got to see Slipknot for the first time ever, and it was everything.
It's a little bittersweet knowing that not all the original members are there, which obviously they can't help it in some cases, but I mean they're still really a force to be reckoned with live. I'd have to say.
I'm getting chills just like thinking about it because that was one for my bucket list, and it was just amazing. I didn't go to bed right away that night because I remember they had the rain delay, which screwed up the set list and everything. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see Trivium. That was that day, right? We didn't. And Rob Zombie had technical difficulties, so his set ran over, but Slipknot still stayed and played past the time they were supposed to, and it was fucking incredible.
Well, they wrap up about 12:30 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty late because I didn't go home till like 2:00 in the morning. I was like, oh shit, I gotta be back at 10. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a long night, but it was worth it. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. But I'd say, you know, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot are 3 of the top nu metal bands for myself up there. But let us not forget Linkin Park. That one, that Chester, you know, just his voice was very, to me, unique. You know, there's no topping Chester, Linkin Park. I still remember
generational talent there.
Yes,
for sure. Excellent singer.
Hearing One Step Closer, my introduction there to Linkin Park, of course.
I remember when I first heard them, it just seemed like they were the girl band, and I just kind of wrote them off. I remember my friend and I, we went to a couple of, and a friend of mine, we went to a couple of festivals either in 2000 or 2001, and Linkin Park was there. So it's kind of funny that I saw them really early in their career when they're playing in the middle of the day, and then it was until I actually listened to the album, and I was like, every single song on this Hybrid Theory CD could be a single on the radio and just a smash hit, and it's just an excellent record.
Oh yeah.
And even the next one was pretty good. And then after that, I kind of just, my music taste just kind of went all over the place with LimeWire and just stealing music and discovering all kinds of bands.
Oh, LimeWire, give your fucking computer an STD. But Hybrid Theory, to this day, that is in my top 5 albums of all time. It never gets old, and so many songs on that album are so relatable to shit I've gone through in my life and whatnot. And it's weird now that, you know, Chester's gone and everything, and you go back and listen to the lyrics of the songs and everything, it's like, oh my God, you actually hear how, like, it's
eerie. I know it's their most popular song, but what's the name of that song? I keep wanting to say "Pushing Me Away," but that's the last song of the album. That's my favorite song of theirs. But the big thing in the end, the lyrics to that, it's just kind of eerie. Just, I don't know. It's kind of,
I just got chills.
Whole new context listening to it now. Especially after having kids, and then you start to look at these people more as like you would look at your own kids, and you really feel for what they're going through and that kind of stuff, and kind of gives it a whole new perspective when you're an adult.
It really does. It really, really does. That's one that I missed out on when he was still around. Never got to see them in concert, and kicking myself in the ass for that now. But at least we still have the albums, and we can listen to it anytime we want to. But that one was very influential for myself with nu metal here, and
for sure.
It gets me all emotional thinking about it. We're just gonna, people like to see that here though. It's weird.
They're masochists.
Yeah. Orgy, that's another one on my top list here. I kind of one-hit wonders, but their cover of Blue Monday,
two hit sort of, what was that song, Stitches or something like that?
That was another one that's my favorite from them. But I did enjoy the cover of Blue Monday. I remember when that first came out and seeing the video, I'm like, what is this crazy shit? I'm like, this is awesome. So
definitely a throwback to the glam era mixed up with goth stuff. And I forget, I think his name is Amir Darak, and he also did some production. I think he produced Cold Chamber's second album, so he was doing behind the scenes stuff too.
Oh shit, that's awesome. So I didn't know that. Look at you. See, that's why you're here.
I'm like Matt Pinfield. I just have all kinds of useless info in my head.
But with hair.
Thankfully.
Sorry, Matt.
and less fat.
Yes, that too. But we're not like he's going to watch this or anything. Is he? Never mind. He's still around, isn't he?
Yeah, I saw some video the other day. I guess he has his own podcast or something. And,
nice.
He's thinner now, so I don't feel bad.
Okay, that's good. That's crazy. I mean, you can just go, like, there's so many bands, and I don't know. Let's just go with you. What are your top 5? I kind of already gone through mine, but I'll list them again.
Top 5 nu metal bands?
Yeah, if you got 5.
I would say definitely Korn, Limp Bizkit. Slipknot was always iffy for me because I feel like after their first couple of records, they just kind of became a metal band.
Yeah.
So maybe their first couple albums, Deftones, even though they're kind of the same way, they kind of transcended the genre. I like System of a Down's first couple records, although I think a controversial opinion is I don't understand why they headline festivals over Korn now. I don't see it. I don't know why they're so huge, but I think they deserve it. But I just don't personally get it, because after the first couple albums, it was just kind of very hit or miss for me. And then I do want to shout out an obscure English nu metal band, 1 Minute Silence. They don't really get enough love, but they're very below the radar and that kind of stuff. I don't even know how I heard of them back in the day. I think they had a song on the radio, and then Brock, and I think my brother and a couple of us went to Earth Day Birthday in 2000 because they were opening it. And then once they were done playing, we got some stuff signed by them and we left. We didn't even watch the rest of it.
Nice.
So they were pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna have to look into them.
I still like them a lot. And then you also got like these nu metal adjacent bands like Tool and stuff, but
I was like even hesitant to put Slipknot on there just because I agree with you there. Like the first album or two, I could, the nu metal influence was there, but after that, I believe just straight up metal. So, and like Deftones, I mean, I would kind of psychedelic, like for, I don't know. I guess some of their songs it could be nu metal, but to me, I think they're more along the psychedelic style of metal. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of fit right in with their early stuff. Adrenaline and Around the Fur kind of nestled in nicely in the nu metal genre. But I mean, nu metal is so vast in what it incorporates. A lot of it says that it has to contain hip hop or whatever, but there's just so many different types of bands and different sounds that are all within it that it's kind of like everything fit in with it, and nothing. It was kind of like if it didn't fall within the traditional metal landscape, like you definitely wouldn't consider Pantera nu metal or anything like that. They were pretty much the only ones flying. They were the ones flying the flag for heavy metal in the '90s for sure. But yeah, I mean, Deftones, they just kind of did their own thing. They were just so uniquely creative, and you could tell they weren't influenced by their peers. I think that's the main thing that kind of set them apart.
Yeah.
You have bands like Edema. I know the singer was like related, I guess, to the singer from Korn, but they kind of sound like Korn. And then, so just a lot of people ripping off other people.
Yeah, I loved Edema. The 3 songs.
I like the song Immortal. That song slaps. So I like that one a lot.
That's a good one. Giving In was the first one I heard from them, and I was like, Marky. So
Chavez, is that his last name?
Yeah.
Why do I know that? It's just random stuff like that. Why do I know
it is that? I knew it, but I had my reasons. So I should have probably read off like the definition of nu metal when we first started this. So like you have been saying, it's like it combines elements of heavy metal with elements of other music genres such as hip hop, alternative rock, funk, industrial, and grunge. Now that I read that industrial, because I was going to question Static X being a nu metal band, but if it, because I put them more of the line along the lines of industrial to my ears.
They fit the aesthetic, I think.
Yeah. So now that I read that, okay, I'll give it to you.
They had a lot of bouncy songs and that kind of stuff, and I was happy to see them a couple times back in the day. And
that's awesome.
Even then, on this last go around, I know Wayne passed away. I can't remember how many years ago now, but they're doing the sort of tribute shows to him with the original lineup and all that kind of stuff. And I saw them, I think, earlier this year, and they were still put on a pretty good show.
How do you remember how many shows you've been to? It's like every day, it's every other day you're at a show. I'm seeing it on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God.
I'd say setlist.fm is how I keep track of that kind of stuff.
All right.
But I think last year, just sitting around the house, I just was like, I've missed so many shows over the years. So whenever I don't have my kids or anything like that, I'm going to go see as much stuff as I can, because you also kind of fall in your own little hole and don't really discover new music. So you hear these new bands like Lorna Shore and Slaughter to Prevail, and it's like, let's see who's flying the flag for metal now. And then I discovered a lot of cool new bands, and a lot of people doing a lot of really interesting things, going to shows just to go to shows.
Yeah. I'm happy that I'm going to 2 more this year at least. So not as many as you, but hey, I'm getting back out there. I got my feet wet with Welcome to Rockville. Actually, no, it started with Jynger back in December. And then, Welcome to Rockville, it's on. I don't even know how many bands.
I don't know how I survived, to be honest. I was surprised I held up as well as I did.
Yeah, you made it all 4. I only made it 3. So there you go. That would be something cool to have, like a Welcome to Rockville type thing, but just like all nu metal bands.
That Sick New World Festival is kind of
Oh,
like that.
damn.
It was headlined by System of a Down. I think Korn and Deftones were just underneath them, and just a lot of bands like
Holy
that.
shit. Okay, I totally missed that one. I'm in a bubble that I'm trying to get out of. You
That
guys
was
help
part of.
me.
I was missing so many shows. I was like, all right, I'm on Facebook. I'm gonna like every venue I could think of that I've seen shows at, and a lot of that stuff really helps me kind of stay up to date and liking bands that who I'm into, and so I get updates and see when they start going on tour and that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I try to join as many groups as possible. And then with YouTube and doing the music reactions, a lot of the fans will comment in the section like, hey, they're coming here, they're going there, so they kind of keep me informed too. Can't make it to all of them, but if I could, man, I would
For
every
sure.
day.
Want to hit the lottery so I can just be a traveling band tourist.
Yeah, we don't want to say groupies because that's not the right word.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
wouldn't want to be a groupie.
Oh no. All I can think of is hair metal bands, and yeah. But all right, I mean,
only Steel Panther can have groupies now.
Yes. I did get to see them at Earth Day birthday not a few years ago, it was many years ago now, but interesting. They're entertaining, I'll say that. And Corey Taylor came out because Stone Sour was there, and he came out and did a song with them, so it was pretty awesome. So the Spotify new metal list here that I got, a lot of it I do agree with, but some of the songs I'm like, is that really new metal? Like, I don't know. But obviously you got Limp Bizkit, Korn, System of a Down, which we've all talked about, POD.
Yeah, they're that rap metal, new metal. Yeah, I'd say they fall within new metal. At least their older stuff, Satellite and Southtown, and their first couple albums for sure.
Got to hear some of that back in December.
Oh yeah, they were fun.
Yeah. I was like, high school. I'm fucking old. Disturbed is on this list, Down with the Sickness. I don't agree with that one.
You don't think they're new metal?
No, I don't know. Now I'm questioning life now. It's like, because then you also have Godsmack on here.
I would say Disturbed definitely are, because there's just this new metal aesthetic that Disturbed just fully encapsulated, especially their singer back in the day with like the straight jackets on, crazy, and all that kind of stuff.
And the little piercing.
I will say when their first album was called The Sickness, I was thinking like Slipknot type sick, and then when I first heard them, I was like, oh, this is not what I expected at all. So it took a few listens to grow on me, but their first couple albums are pretty good.
I did go out after work and buy that album at Virgin Megastore in Orlando when that was still a thing, along with Hybrid Theory one night. That was my Friday nights after work, my senior year. But Godsmack, I'd
lean more towards like hard rock or alternative metal or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't put him like in heavy metal or new metal. So I thought that, and it's I Stand Alone is a song that's on this list.
That's definitely not a new metal song to me. I feel like the genre officially died around 2002 and 2003. Maybe I Stand Alone came out in 2003, but I wouldn't consider that a new metal song.
So I'm glad we agree on that. It also, there's Stained in the new metal category with Mud Shovel.
Yeah, maybe the first record with all the mopiness and the introspective lyrics and all that kind of stuff. But they just didn't have any of the hip hop type stuff in there. But I would say it's one of those maybe new metal adjacent, kind of like Godsmack. Not that they sound anything like them, but kind of it's like them. Stained and Cold, kind of in the same bucket. They totally fit in with those type of bands if they were playing with them. But are they new metal? Maybe not.
Okay. This is kind of like a game now. Is it new metal or wrong? Where do you place yourself in nu metal. So yeah, that one, I don't know. Their new album I'm really excited for. I've heard 2 of songs off the new album coming out, and it sounds like Old Stained, and it's very exciting, and I can't wait. So I don't know if you're a Stained fan or not, but
I mean, I really like their first handful of albums through, I think, 14 Shades of Grey.
mm-hmm.
Those are all really good. Then again, I'm getting into bands like In Flames and Swedish death metal, all like the New England metalcore stuff coming out. So it's just totally all over the place in the mid 2000s. But then when they came back by through Orlando this past go around, we caught up with me and my lady friend caught up with Michelle and her husband, and because I know she's loved Stained since high school, loves them, and so it was nice to go and see them. And then I heard the new song live, and I was like, dang, this is pretty good, because I hadn't really paid much attention to them since their early 2000s stuff.
Yeah, Lowest and Me, when I heard that, it was just like, holy shit. I'm going back to fucking 01 and shit. I was like, oh, this is so great. So I am actually super excited for this album.
Aaron's voice is really good live. The screaming and all that stuff is really good. He sounds better than he does on the record, because I always thought his scream sounded kind of weird on the older stuff. I don't know what technique he was using, but he sounded crystal clear when we saw him at the Hard Rock.
I did get to see him at Earth Day Birthday as well, many moons ago, and that was fantastic as well. But
doing his solo stuff.
No, he was with the band. This was before they took a little hiatus. So pretty good. Fucking crazy towns on here.
Yeah, they're definitely nu metal.
Yeah, there's no denying that. Butterfly, Sugar Baby. I will admit I bought that album.
It's just kind of funny that they centered a whole smash hit song around some kind of little throwaway half-second guitar part in the Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
They're crazy. Alien Ant Farm.
Shell Shock.
Oh yeah, some crazy shit that's happened with them recently.
Alien Ant Farm or Crazy Town.
Crazy Town,
I think they were touring with Head PE, but there was like people getting in fist fights and they got kicked off or something like that. So
like, I probably should have looked into that, and we could have talked about that a little bit more on here. So a little tea, if you will. But whatever, man. Alien Ant Farm's on here with Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a great cover. I always wanted to like them a lot more than I did. I felt like their single movies off that album is really good, and if you hear it now, it kind of makes you nostalgic for those times, because I mean, it was all about Ghostbusters and a bunch of stuff that we had already grown up with in that video. So it's even tugs at the heartstrings a little bit. And the guys, he's a good singer, good band. I just never liked them as much as I would have wanted to.
Yeah, I always thought that I mean, I do like that song Movies, but that's definitely like I wouldn't say poppy, but it's definitely no nu metal.
It's just like a rock song.
Yeah, I love that song though. And the Smooth Criminal, I done that in karaoke a time or 10.
Their rendition is pretty good though.
Yeah, it is.
They did it justice.
That video is great too. The little kid, he was getting down. It's like, oh my god. The guitar, was it the guitar player that was doing the leaning and stuff?
I think they were all doing that.
Yeah, or were they? Okay. It's been a while.
And they were in like a wrestling ring, like backyard wrestling, and the sidewalk was lighting up. That was a good video.
I want my sidewalk to light up when I walk on it. All right. Kid Rock, Ball with the Ball is on here. I would not. Would you? I mean, I know he does a little bit of the rapping and stuff in it, but I don't know. I never really put him in a genre. I'm just like, all right, this song's all right.
I mean, he doesn't really sound like Limp Bizkit or anything. There's just so many. I think it just falls within the tons of influences getting mixed together kind of thing. So even today, I think about half that album's pretty good. I used to hate the song Cowboy, but the other ones were cool. Now I even like Cowboy. I got a soft spot for it. But yeah, I Am the Bull God.
That was the
Devil
first
Without
song.
a Cause, the song.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. With all the funky wah 70s stuff going on during the verses. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I own that album as well. Thank you, JR. Oh, that's where I got all my stuff from back in the day. I don't even listen to the radio anymore. I listen to all my Spotify, or I hear stuff on Facebook or TikTok, and it's like, what is that? Or people send me links. Check this out. Okay, reaction.
I feel like a ton of stuff came out in 98 because I was doing 98 and 99 because I was doing a paper route with my brother and a friend of ours in our neighborhood. I remember when Godsmack first came out, then Kid Rock came out, and System of a Down was blowing up because I think their first record came out in 98, and then Kid Rock, and then Eminem blew up, and that was like the rapper that the white kids listen to. And so it's just so much new stuff coming out, no pun intended, but in the late 90s. Lots of cool stuff.
And we did have some good shit back then. Not that we don't have anything good now, which, got all kinds of crazy shit.
People like to crap on it, but I mean, Limp Bizkit still headlines and Korn still headlining. And I mean, I think the bass player from Trivium had something negative to say about nu metal, but what he said about the bands that transcended the genre were all really amazing. I definitely agree with that.
Yes, yeah, I think I did.
There was a lot of trash for sure, but every genre has 10% of it is amazing, and the rest is just derivative and boring at best and just horrible at worst.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bands that get put into one subgenre of metal, and they don't like really care to be put in that genre. Like, I'm a huge metalcore fan, and some bands don't like being put into that category. Just like, like you said, there's like quite a few bands that you could say nu metal. Grunge is another one. People don't like that word.
Oh yeah.
So
metalcore was definitely a dirty word back in the early mid 2000s. Nobody wanted to be called a metalcore band.
Yeah, but now it's like I'm venturing out. I do enjoy some Lorna Shore and Slaughter to Prevail, and the wheel of songs I have on here, it puts some new stuff out there that I wouldn't normally listen to, and then when I listen to it, I'm just like, holy shit, it's incredible. It took a while
for me to do oh yeah, definitely, there's lots of really good stuff coming out. It took me a while to get into his voice, but Knocked Loose is another band. They're like probably my favorite new band right now. Or they're not even new, they've been around for a while, but they're kind of blown up now too.
Yes.
And yeah, you should check out their latest video. It's like 2 songs, but the video is kind of creepy and kind of fits that.
Nice.
Now it's pumpkin spice latte season, so I think you should
my
check
favorite time of the year. Yeah, I think they're actually on the Wheel of Songs still, so it's not been picked yet. I might just fucking do it.
Screw the wheel. Just do it.
Yeah.
The new one. Deep in the Willow. Everything is quiet now. It's really good.
There's gonna be a day where I'm just done with it and be like, you know what? The wheel's not spinning today. We're just gonna go one by one. Reaction. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of stuff from them pop up and everything. I'm like, I need to get on that.
Their vocalist is very interesting. So it could be an acquired taste, but I saw them with Gojira a couple of years ago and was like, damn, these guys are heavy. But I mean, it didn't really click for me until probably earlier this year. And that's why I left Alice Cooper to go check them out at Rockville.
I know. I should have gone too, but I was like, it's Alice Cooper. I was sucked in. So it was crazy. But I mean, they got Incubus on here. I wouldn't put metal.
Their early stuff, the stuff off of Science and what was their Make Yourself, I think was their second album.
I'm gonna have to go back and give it a listen.
Oh yeah. Science, I think something came on yesterday and it just has a lot more slap bass, funky, upbeat. It's not the umbrella with a pina colada in your hand on the beach type music. But although I say Morning View is a really good album though too. So
I
Say the
enjoyed that
first
one.
3 albums are all really good.
Yeah.
Then after that, it just wasn't scratching the itch for me much anymore.
Yeah. Were they at Welcome to Rockville the last day?
Incubus. Oh yeah. We didn't go see them. We stayed after Coheed and Cambria so we could inch up as close as we could for when Deftones played, and
Nice.
it was definitely worth it. We were just watching Incubus on the screen.
Yeah, I would have done the same. I did get to see Deftones. They opened for Avenged Sevenfold many years ago.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think 3 Days Grace right before Adam left the band. So I got to see him with 3 Days Grace, and that was awesome. And then it was Deftones, and then Avenged Sevenfold came out. I've seen September will mark the 4th time I've seen Avenged Sevenfold, which we might have to have a dedication podcast just for them since that's my favorite band. I get so much hate for it. I
don't get it. I remember liking them when Wake in the Fallen came out. I remember seeing ads in Circus magazine or whatever saying the perfect blend between metal and hardcore. And I was like, I'll check it out. No, this is a cool album. And considering they were so young, the songwriting is just really mature and interesting. And then when City of Evil came out, I knew he wasn't going to scream because he messed his voice up and had surgery and all that kind of stuff. And he does sound kind of weird on there because I think he's still recovering, but he's still singing fantastically. The music is just, I don't see why everybody hates on him so much because it's just the raw talent there is off the charts.
And I love I know a lot of the songs off the new album got a lot of hate and everything, but I like the direction they went with it. It's something totally different and they're experimenting, and I like that. So I can't wait to hear more of it live in September, a few weeks.
Yeah. First time I heard those new songs was at Rockville, and the We Love You was very interesting. Yes. It was very fun live. I liked it.
I will admit I had to listen to that a couple times for it to actually grow on me, and to hear them do it live, it was so much better live than the recording I listened to prior. I'm like, okay, I like the song now. I mean, that's awesome. So yeah, even though they're not new metal, we're still going to discuss it in Sevenfold. All right, I mean, yeah, so there's not really much more unless you want to pick your top number 1 new metal album.
If I had to pick, I would just pick Korn's first album, the one that started it all. I'd say their first 2 albums, for me back in the Walkman days, I had side 1 was their self-titled, side 2 was Life is Peachy, and then that song Sean Olsen they did for the Crow soundtrack. It was just nonstop, looped over and over and over. And if there was somehow statistics for how many times I listened to that record, it has to be in the triple digits, because that Korn was like a religion to me for a good 3-4 years until they blew up with Follow the Leader, and then of course being an immature 15-year-old, that's my
mainstream
band, they're on MTV now.
They sold out. And that's when I discovered
pretty much everything they did until Head of initially left in like 05 or whatever, I think is all really good, and then it's kind of spotty after that. Again, I just kind of moved on to other things. Finally saw them about I just never really got into that kind of stuff, but I did finally see them live 2015. It was like the 21st anniversary tour of the first record, so I got to hear that front to back.
Nice.
So that was an experience. Limp Bizkit was there too. That was kind of an interesting lineup. There was it was like a one-day Family Values tour.
I was going to say Family Values.
Hobson opened. I think Suicidal Tendencies was there. POD was there. Everlast was there. What a weird lineup.
My God.
But it was only that day.
Whatever happened to that dude?
Interesting.
he was with oh my God, what's the name of the group he was with?
House of Pain.
Thank you.
And DJ Lethal from Limp Bizkit was with them.
Yes. It's crazy. But for me, I'm gonna have to go with Hybrid Theory on that, just because that album means so much to me, and it's fucking Linkin Park, but chick rock.
Can't go wrong. I'd say both are 10 out of 10.
I
Ain't
agree.
a bad song on either one.
Agreed. It just made me think of I would sit there in Spanish class my junior year of high school, and I would sit there on my my fucking binder with a pen, and just all I was doing was writing band names on my binder. I don't know if you ever did that. And Korn was
white out on my backpack.
Yes,
writing
that
band
too.
names.
I think I even did that on a pair of jeans. I took one of the whiteout pens and we're writing band names on my jeans and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's what we do for fun here. Got so much trouble when I got home. It's like, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm cool now. I'm edgy. Took whiteouts to my jeans and wrote Korn on them. But
I think my dad built a lot of the furniture in our house, so the shelves that were in my room still has like Korn carved in it, even though he's painted over it. It's funny.
Korn lives here forever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those are good times, man. So a little trip down memory lane here. That was a lot of fun. Thank you again for joining me for the first podcast. Hopefully you'll be on for another one if you enjoyed this here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Jinx. Yeah, I mean, we have so many oh my god, I can't, brain's malfunctioning here. Themes, I guess, that we can talk about on this. So this could go on for a very long time. But I think it's coming up on about an hour here. I think it's pretty good. Talked enough about nu metal. Guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe one day we'll do a live podcast on here and we can all discuss something on the breakdown. Yeah, what's your favorite nu metal band? Were you a fan? What's nu metal to you? Drop it in the comments section below and let's discuss it. Terry, again, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We'll look to have you on again. And everyone, until next time, have a wonderful night.
See you later.